All right then, guys. So jumping straight into the session, you have all agreed that you will go to the Imperial labor camp to find Naver. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm not sure heading off straight away would be the best idea.
Agreed. You've all had a long journey, and I can see the weariness in your eyes. It's getting late, and I think it would be wise for you to rest here for the night. The road ahead is perilous, and you'll need all your strength.
Rest sounds amazing. I mean, we need to be at our best to pull off this rescue, right? Plus, I could really use some sleep. It's been a long day with a lot of running and, almost getting blasted.
Tarn is right. A long rest will do us good. We need to be sharp and prepared for whatever we might encounter at the camp. We can't afford any mistakes. Else, we will just end up as fucking slaves again.
Yeah, we've been through a lot today. Resting up and having a clear head sounds like a smart move. Besides, I've got some diagnostics to run and gear to check. I got a buttload of sand in my shit.
See? Sand really is terrible. I don't like it one bit.
Yeah. No point heading into a fight with half our systems offline.
Indeed, rest will not only restore our physical strength, but also our connection to the Force. A clear mind and a calm spirit are essential for the challenges we are about to face.
Good. It's settled then. I don't have much, but I can offer you some blankets and a safe place to sleep. You'll find it comfortable enough, I hope.
Oh, you don't need to worry about us, Mr. Tarn. We will be absolutely fine wherever we sleep. All right then, Joe. I'm gonna lay my little old head down and get some Z's.
As you all settle down for the night, finding comfortable spots in Tarn's humble abode, the warmth of the fire provides a comforting glow that eases the tension from your bodies. The room is filled with a peaceful silence, occasionally punctuated by the soft crackling of the fire. The smell of herbal tea lingers in the air, mingling with the scent of aged wood and earth. You wrap yourselves in the blankets Tarn provided, feeling the day's weariness begin to melt away. The hardships and dangers of your journey momentarily fade as you drift into a restful sleep. The quiet night envelops you, offering a rare moment of peace in a galaxy at war. All right, guys, morning is here. What's the plan?
Morning, everyone. I feel like I could take on the whole Empire after that rest. Let's get moving and rescue Naver.
Agreed. A good night's sleep has done wonders. Beep, boop, beep. How are your diagnostics?
All systems go, baby. I ran a full check during the night. We're ready to roll.
Excellent. Let us gather our things and prepare to leave.
As you begin to pack your belongings, you hear the familiar creak of the wooden floor. Tarn enters the room, his expression thoughtful as he approaches.
Hold on a moment. Before you head out, I've got something that might help you on your journey.
Ooh, you've got some goodies for us? What is it?
Tarn moves to a small window, pulling back the curtain to let more light flood the room, before turning back to you.
I've got 2 dewbacks out back. They're strong and reliable, and they'll get you to the camp much faster than traveling on foot. If you think it would help, you're welcome to take them.
Dewbacks? I don't know, Tarn. They're not all that fast, and we could get spotted easier.
Yeah, and considering the terrain, it might be just as quick to walk. Those things aren't exactly stealthy.
Come on, you two. Tarn's offering us a gift here. Dewbacks are awesome. Think about it. We'll cover more ground and save our energy for the real fight. Plus, we will look like so cool as we approach.
But that's the problem, Sandy. We don't want to look cool as we approach. We don't want to be seen at all.
I think Galen and Beep Boop Beep are being a bit ungrateful, if I'm being honest. Tarn has shown us great generosity, and we should accept it with gratitude.
All right. If Sandy and Sithious are so keen on it, we'll give it a try. But if we get spotted because of this, I'm holding both of you responsible.
Ha! Silly Galen. You won't be able to hold me responsible for anything, because if we get spotted, we will most likely die.
Why do you seem happy at the concept?
Alrighty, let's get going. I'm excited.
Agreed. It's not every day you get to ride such majestic creatures. I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Tarn pushes open the creaky wooden door, gesturing for you to follow. He strides purposefully, his boots crunching on the sandy gravel path as he leads you outside. The village stirs with the sounds of a new day, the air crisp and cool. He continues to move forward until eventually he stops at a small pen where 2 dewbacks stand, their large eyes blinking lazily in the morning light. He pats one affectionately on the side, the creature nuzzling him in return.
Make sure to bring them back in one piece, please. They're more than just beasts of burden. They're part of this family, and I trust you'll handle them with care. They're good animals. Treat them well, and they'll see you through.
We will do our absolute best to keep them safe and sound for you, Tarn. These dewbacks are in good hands. I promise we'll treat them with the same care you have. All right then, Joe. I jump on the beastie and get ready to ride.
Nice. I'll ride this one then. Who are you going to ride with, Galen?
Honestly, I don't feel very spoilt for options. But I guess I'll jump on Sandy's.
Wait, how are you gonna ride one of these beep boop beep? I mean, I'm pretty sure if you tried, you'd just fall off.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Sandy. Really inspiring stuff.
Maybe we could get a net or something from Tarn and just drag you behind us. That could work.
Drag me behind? You want to treat me like cargo now?
It's not a bad idea, actually. We just need to make sure it's secure and you'll be fine.
Fine? Getting dragged behind a dewback sounds anything but fine.
Come on, BBB, it'll be like a fun ride. Plus, it's better than you trying to balance on one of these things and falling off every few minutes.
Precisely. It's a practical solution. Tarn, do you have a net or something sturdy we could use?
I think I have just the thing. Give me a moment.
Tarn heads to a nearby shed and returns with a sturdy net and some rope. He hands them over, giving you instructions on how to secure it safely.
All right then. I'm going to hop off my dewback and begin strapping BBB to the back of it.
Give me a sleight of hand check, Sithious.
Meh. That's only a 12.
All right, Sithious, you kneel down and begin to unfurl the rope and netting. You thread the rope through the net's loops, your fingers working methodically but with a noticeable lack of finesse. The netting bunches up in places, creating uneven tension as you try to secure it to the back of the dewback. You tie the first few knots tightly, but they look a bit sloppy, with loose ends sticking out awkwardly. You wrap the rope around Beep Boop Beep's chassis, making sure to loop it under and over several times, yet the alignment is off, causing the net to shift slightly to one side. With a final tug, you tie a large, clumsy knot, hoping it will hold. As you step back to inspect your work, the dewback shifts its weight, causing the netting to sag a little on one side. It's clear that the setup is functional, but just barely. The net seems to be doing its job of keeping Beep Boop Beep in place, though it's far from secure and aesthetically pleasing.
I'm sure you'll be fine, BBB. It looks secure enough to me.
Yeah, it looks safe enough. Just make sure we don't hit too many bumps, okay? Actually, can we just have a quick once-over? I feel like it's a little bit loose on my left.
Yeah! Joe, I whip the reins and begin moving. We must make haste. Naver awaits our rescue.
The crack of the reins echoes sharply in the morning air, spurring the dewbacks into motion with a surprising burst of speed. Their powerful legs dig into the sandy ground, propelling them forward with unexpected agility. Sandy, you mimic Sithious, snapping your reins. Your dewback lurches forward, following closely behind Sithious' mount. From your vantage point, you watch as Beep Boop Beep, secured in the net, begins to bounce and jostle with the rough ride. The dewbacks navigate the uneven terrain with surprising grace, but Beep Boop Beep is less fortunate. The netting strains and shifts, causing him to slam into small sandbanks and ricochet off scattered rocks. Each jolt sends him briefly airborne before he crashes back down, the process repeating with an almost rhythmic absurdity.
Holy shit, man. Can you slow the down?
Hang in there, BBB. We're making progress.
Progress! What progress? We've been traveling for all of a minute and I'm already turning into scrap metal. Every bump feels like I'm being reassembled on the fly. At this rate, I'll be a pile of bolts and circuits before we even get close to the camp.
Hey guys, I've got an idea. Maybe we should try moving faster. You know, if we go faster, we can up his air time. With more time in the air, he'll hit fewer bumps on the ground. It's simple physics, really.
Sandy, that's an excellent idea. The faster we go, the smoother the ride for BBB. Plus, we'll cover more ground in less time. Let's give it a shot and see if it helps him out. Hang tight, BBB. We're about to take off.
No. Don't take off. Don't take off.
You crack the reins, urging the dewbacks to pick up speed. The beasts respond with powerful strides, quickly accelerating across the rugged terrain. The wind whips past you, a rush of adrenaline surging through your veins as the dewbacks charge forward. Unfortunately, the plan backfires spectacularly. Instead of smoothing out the ride, the increased speed turns each impact into a brutal jolt. Beep Boop Beep is launched into the air repeatedly, his metal frame slamming back into the ground with bone-jarring force. You You watch as BBB's chassis ricochets off the hard-packed earth, each landing a symphony of clattering metal and pained exclamations. The dewbacks, oblivious to the chaos behind them, continue their relentless pace, dragging BBB through a gauntlet of jagged rocks and uneven sandbanks. BBB's protests are lost in the cacophony of his impacts. His body bounces off the ground with a sickening thud, only to be yanked upward again by the relentless forward momentum. The netting strains and creaks under the assault, barely holding him in place as he's battered and bruised by the unforgiving terrain. You see him slam into a particularly large rock, sending him spinning in the air before he crashes down with a metallic clang. The jarring impacts send vibrations through his entire frame, making you wince with each bone-rattling thud.
Well, that doesn't seem to be working.
I don't know what else to suggest then. I'd say we could try to go even faster, but I don't think these old girls would be able to.
Well, we've tried going faster. How about we try to slow down and see if...
Wait a moment. I've got it. Why rely on physics when we can use the Force? Joe, I want to use Force push and pull to keep BBB suspended in the air as we move. That should minimize the impacts and give him a smoother ride.
All right, Sithious, that's a creative solution, but keep in mind, trying to use the Force while also managing the dewback will be quite challenging. I'm going to need you to make an animal handling check with disadvantage because this will be distracting you from driving the beast and you will be looking behind you for the most part instead of where you're going.
Understood. Let's do this. BBB, hang tight. I'm going to make this as smooth as possible for you.
Give me an animal handling check with disadvantage then, Sithious.
You know, it always seems to be the times we need the Force to be on our side the most. It fails us.
How bad are we talking, Sithious?
Quite drastically. You see, I rolled a natural 1.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man.
Sithious, as you concentrate on keeping BBB suspended in the air using the Force, you feel a rush of satisfaction as your plan works magnificently. BBB floats smoothly above the ground, avoiding the brutal impacts that plagued him earlier. However, your intense focus on BBB leaves you unaware of the treacherous terrain ahead. Your dewback's powerful strides carry you forward until, without warning, you crest a sand dune. The sudden drop catches you off guard, and the ground falls away beneath you. A sense of weightlessness grips your stomach as you're launched into the air. You barely have time to turn your head before you slam headfirst into a large metal machine, your vision exploding with stars as you go ass over tit. The impact sends you sprawling, the reins slipping from your hands. The dewback stumbles and BBB's rope goes taut and then snaps with a sharp twang. He's catapulted forward, tumbling headfirst into the sand, his frame embedding deeply into the dune.
Well, that's going to be a concussion.
Sandy, as you and your dewback, along with Galen, crest the same dune, you witness the chaotic aftermath. Sithious lies sprawled on the ground, groaning in pain, while BBB is half buried in the sand, his metal body twisted at an awkward angle. Surrounding them, a swarm of Jawas emerges from the shadows of their massive sandcrawler, chattering excitedly as they approach the crash site. The Jawas' yellow eyes gleam with opportunistic excitement as they begin to swarm over Sithious and BBB, inspecting the downed droid and Sith pureblood with fervent curiosity.
I'm not a pureblood, I'm a pureblood.
Whatever, man. The huge mechanical contraption looms ominously, its dark silhouette casting a long shadow over the chaotic scene.
Joe, I want to jump off my dewback and approach the Jawas. Hey! Get away from them, you angry little sand goblins. Those are my friends you're messing with.
All right, Sandy, do you speak Jawa?
Yeah, of course I do. Ahem, utini, kuchu, dukamubi, gonkunta tupta.
I don't know what the hell that is, Sandy, but it certainly isn't Jawa. Maybe it's some kind of bastardized version of it.
All right. You leap off your dewback, hitting the ground with a solid thud and striding toward the swarm of Jawas. Their heads snap up at your sudden arrival, eyes glowing beneath their hoods. You wave your arms, trying to look as authoritative as possible.
Utini, kuchu, dukamubi, gonkunta tupta.
The Jawas pause, their chattering momentarily silenced by your outburst. They exchange confused glances, clearly trying to decipher your garbled attempt at their language. For a moment, it seems like they might back off, but then they burst into rapid, mocking laughter, their high-pitched giggles echoing across the sand. One particularly bold Jawa steps forward, waving a small ion blaster at you and jabbering something incomprehensible. The others resume their scavenging, now more frenzied, as if spurred on by your presence.
Joe, I want to cast Force Leap. Then I jump atop the sandcrawler.
You gather the force within you, feeling the energy coalesce in your legs. With a powerful push, you launch yourself into the air, the ground falling away rapidly as you soar upward. You land on top of the sandcrawler with a solid thud, the metal surface vibrating under your feet. The Jawas below stop and stare up at you, their eyes wide with a mix of surprise and fear.
Listen up, you little sand goblins. Back away from my friends, or you'll feel the full power of the Force. I'm not messing around here. You think you can mess with us and get away with it? Think again. I've got enough power to send this entire sandcrawler into the next galaxy. So unless you want to be picking up your own pieces for the next few weeks, I suggest you back off right now. And don't even think about coming back, or you'll regret it. Move it, or I'll turn this heap of junk into your worst nightmare.
That was a very good speech, Sandy. Quite inspiring, really. But here's the thing. No matter how good your speech was, it won't matter if they don't understand you. These Jawas speak their own language, remember? All they heard was a bunch of loud noises and hand-waving. They might not be getting the message you're trying to send.
I was trying to make a point, Sithious. They looked scared, didn't they?
Oh, they definitely looked scared. But we need more than just fear. We need to communicate. We have to make them understand that messing with us is a bad idea, and words alone aren't going to cut it if they don't know what you're saying.
Roll an intimidation check for me, Sandy.
Ooh, I'm brilliant at these. I rolled a 5 plus 5, so that's a 10 total. Well, did it work though, Joe? Did it work? Did I scare them?
Well, for a moment, the Jawas are frozen, their glowing eyes darting between you and each other. Then, with alarming synchronization, they all suddenly pull out blasters from beneath their robes. Before you can react, a volley of blaster bolts erupts towards you. The Jawas' high-pitched war cries mix with the sharp crack of their blasters, creating a cacophony of chaos. The bright red and green bolts streak through the air, lighting up the desert in a barrage of lethal light.
Oh no, this isn't good. Joe, I assume tactical position, swan diving onto the metal surface to try and get some cover.
The first two laser bolts that were aimed at you were a 12 to hit and a 9 to hit.
They miss me.
Sandy, you instinctively dive for cover, throwing yourself flat against the metal surface of the sandcrawler. The heat from the blaster fire sizzles past your ears as you lay prone, pressing yourself as close to the metal as possible. The vibrations from the impacts rattle through your bones, each bolt landing with a deafening clang that reverberates across the desert. The sandcrawler offers scant protection, its metal exterior barely withstanding the onslaught. Sparks fly as the blaster bolts strike, leaving scorch marks and dents in their wake. You can feel the heat and hear the furious chatter of the Jawas below, their confidence bolstered by their collective firepower. The situation grows dire as the relentless barrage continues, the Jawas showing no sign of letting up. Each second feels like an eternity as you cling to the sandcrawler, desperately searching for an opening, a way to turn the tide. The air is thick with the acrid smell of burned metal and ozone, adding to the intensity of the moment.
Should we do something to help him? Because right now I feel like we're all just standing here watching this unfold. Partially because that's exactly what we're doing.
Joe, does this Imperial helmet have a translator in it?
You're unsure. Give me a technology check to see if it does and if you can figure it out.
Help me!
Okay, so that's a 17 total.
You quickly start fiddling with the settings on the Imperial helmet, your fingers moving deftly across the controls. The helmet hums softly as you access its various features. After a few tense moments, you find the translator settings.
By the sweet Force God's help, they're gonna kill me!
A small screen lights up, displaying a list of languages. Scrolling through, you locate the Jawa language option and activate it. A series of beeps and clicks confirms that the translator is now functioning, ready to interpret your voice and the Jawa's speech.
Brilliant. I want to turn it on and storm over the cliff dune, pointing my rifle at the Jawas.
You storm over the crest of the dune, the imposing figure of an Imperial trooper with your rifle aimed directly at the Jawas. The Jawas turn their glowing eyes towards you, their blasters still trained on the sandcrawler.
In the name of the Empire, stop right there, or you will be blasted away by our Imperial Star Destroyer just out of orbit.
Give me a deception check with advantage.
Nice, that's a 16, Joe.
Your voice, translated into fluent Jawa, echoes across the dunes. The Jawas freeze, their chattering falling silent. The threat of an Imperial trooper is enough to make them hesitate, never mind a Star Destroyer. Their blasters begin to waver as they glance nervously at one another. You hold your ground, rifle steady, as the Jawas slowly begin to lower their weapons. The threat of overwhelming force from the Empire is enough to shake even the most daring scavengers. They take cautious steps back, their eyes darting between you, Sandy atop the sandcrawler, and the horizon where the supposed Star Destroyer looms.
Nice bluff, Galen. Let's hope they buy it long enough for us to regroup and get out of here.
Sithious. You didn't say that out loud, did you?
So what if I did? We've already established that they don't understand us, right? So unless you're trying to pull a fast one on me, Joe, I don't see the problem here. And let me tell you, if you are pulling a fast one, I will not be best pleased with you.
No, of course, you're right. They don't understand you.
Hey, Sithious, how's your dewback looking? That crash looked pretty rough.
Oh, I just love how you're asking how the fucking dewback is, but not me. Cheers, Sandy.
Good question. Joe, how's it looking?
Well, Sithious, your dewback is pretty damn damaged. It took a severe hit when you crashed into the sandcrawler. The poor thing looks like it's got a serious concussion. Its eyes are unfocused and it's struggling to stay upright. I'd say it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Great, just great. As if things weren't already complicated enough. Poor beast is out of commission.
Damn, that's rough. We can't just leave it here. Is there anything we can do to help it? Or are we stuck dragging it along somehow?
I don't think dragging it is an option. It's too big and too hurt. Maybe we can try to find some shade and water for it, Cover it with a few leaves and let it recover.
Or how about we demand transport from these Jawas to take us back to our camp, and for them to take care of the dewback in our absence, to which we will return for it?
That's a very good idea, Galen. You've already intimidated them enough, so they should comply. Plus, that way, we're not letting Tarn down by leaving one of his beloved pets to be consumed by the desert and whatever other beasts could claim it. It's a win-win. The Jawas get to feel useful and avoid any more trouble, and we get the transport and the assurance that the dewback will be looked after. Let's do it.
Listen up, Jawas. We require your transport to take us back to our camp. In return, you will load our dewback onto the transport and take care of it until we return. We will come back for it, and you don't want to make us angry by mistreating it. Understood?
The Jawas chatter nervously among themselves, clearly weighing their options. They glance at each other and at you, their eyes filled with a mix of fear and curiosity.
Psst. Hey, Sandy. Keep an eye on them. If they try anything funny, we need to be ready to act.
Psst. Sithious, got it. These little sand goblins won't know what hit them if they double-cross us.
After a moment of deliberation, one of the Jawas steps forward and nods vigorously, signaling their compliance. They gesture toward their sandcrawler, inviting you to board and making it clear they'll load the dewback.
Excellent. Make sure our beastie is well taken care of. Remember, we will be coming back for it. Now let's move.
With the translator still active, you direct the Jawas to carefully load the injured dewback onto the sandcrawler. It takes some effort, but the Jawas manage to hoist the creature into the vehicle with a series of ropes and pulleys, securing it in a shaded corner where it can rest. You and your companions board the sandcrawler, the Jawas still chattering nervously but compliant. The dewback is secured, and you watch as they bring it water and make it as comfortable as possible. The massive vehicle lurches forward, carrying you and your mount away from the immediate danger and back on course for your mission.
Oh shit! We forgot about the other one, Sandy. Hey, Jawas. We need you to load that other one on board over there. I begin waving my hands frantically at the dewback stood alone atop the dune.
I'll translate. Utini, that dewback over there needs to come with us too. Load it onto the transport now.
The Jawas, still jittery but clearly understanding the command, spring into action. Their high-pitched chatter fills the air as they rush towards the lone dewback standing atop the dune. With surprising efficiency, they begin to organize themselves, pulling out ropes, pulleys, and makeshift harnesses from the sandcrawler. The dewback, sensing the commotion, shifts uneasily but doesn't resist as the Jawas approach. They work quickly, securing the ropes around its body and guiding it down the dune with a mix of gentle tugs and encouraging clicks. You watch as the Jawas expertly maneuver the dewback towards the sandcrawler, their small hands moving with practiced speed. The creature is coaxed onto a ramp, and with coordinated effort, they hoist it into the transport, securing it next to its injured companion. The dewbacks, now both on board, snort and shuffle, their massive bodies settling into the confined space of the sandcrawler. With both dewbacks securely loaded and the Jawa still buzzing with nervous energy, the sandcrawler lurches forward once more. You can feel the vehicle's immense weight as it grinds over the uneven terrain, carrying you and your mounts away towards your mission's objective. And that is where we're going to wrap up this session.
Damn, productive as hell. Anyway, I better get myself ready for that Choose Your Adventure campaign you're doing, because it looks like I'm going to be one of the starter Pokemon. Nice.